Hello friends, welcome back to ROMcard. Today in this video, I'm going to review the Lineage OS which comes with Android 14, and this is the best custom ROM for Realme 6, 6i, Realme 7, Narzo 20 Pro and Narzo 30 4G. In short, Realme RM6785 devices. So why it is best custom ROM for Realme 6785 devices? It has a great battery backup, it has a great smoothness, and it comes with Android 14. So these are the features that makes it the best custom ROM for Realme 6785 devices. You guys requested a lot to review this ROM on Realme 6785 devices, so it's here. Today I'm going to review it, so let's go. And you can already see it is based on Android 14, and I'm on the Easter egg right now, and it is working perfectly fine. And I hope you can also hear the vibration or haptic that it gives. So just like other ROMs, let's start from the settings. So it is Lineage OS, so there is not much customization, so you have to just focus on the performance and user experience, and Lineage OS brings a lot in that section. So let's start with the about phone section. So currently I have Realme 6i and it is based on Android 14. The kernel used in this ROM is the Lineage kernel G8723 etc, and the build number is Lineage RMX 2001 L1 because I have Realme 6i, and the Lineage version is 21. And this is the typical Easter egg for Lineage OS. You get this in all the builds of Lineage OS. And the security update is of 1st November 2023. The vendor security patch level is of 5 May 2022. Now talking about the about phone, there is nothing extra in Android 14. It looks typically like the Android 13. Even in the overall experience, I would say there is not much change in the Android 14. Maybe in the next builds of Android 14 we get some noticeable amount of changes, but for now it's almost like Android 13. So the things I noticed in the Android 14 Lineage OS is the lock screen. So when you pull up the lock screen, it shows some symbols like this. You can see it generates random symbols. In Android 13 we used to get just simple dots, but here is an addition in Android 14 and you get that all new Easter egg. Let's get back to the settings. Now in the system, just like other Lineage OS builds, we get buttons, keyboard, system profiles, status bar and gestures. So in the status bar we get little bit of customization. We get the network traffic indicator, then the system icons that you get in the status bar, then the clock position, AM PM style, battery status style and brightness slider. And you can also turn off the auto brightness button. Now you can see here we have a button to turn on auto brightness, but you can turn it off and it will look like this. So that is not that useful, so I will keep it on. Now in the system profiles we get the profiles that you can edit according to any location. Then you can create new profile. You get a lot of options. Now in the buttons we get the invert layout, power menu. In power menu we get the advanced restart, which is an essential option for every custom ROM. So when you click on restart you will get the advanced option, but you don't get the system UI restart here. You only get recovery, bootloader and fast boot. And talking about the installation of this ROM, I will talk about the installation in detail in few minutes, but for now you have to know that this ROM cannot be flashed from any recovery. It requires the Lineage OS recovery to be flashed on your device, so make sure to flash Lineage OS recovery before flashing this ROM, and I will talk about those things later in this video, so stay tuned. Now in the buttons we get long press for torch, then the reorient, click to partial screenshot, like all the options that we get in Android 13. Now in the accessibility we don't get anything extra, all are like Android 13. In wallpaper and style we get a new UI. It's not that much new, just a little bit of additions like 2 buttons for lock screen and home screen. Then we get the change wallpaper, then more lock screen options. In more lock screen options we get double line clock, use device controls etc. And here in the lock screen setting we get the ambient display, which is the AOD actually. Now in the home screen we get these options like icon, where we get a small amount of icons, then the font and the shape. Now in shape we get pebble, square, vessel etc. Now in themed icons we don't get the beta level on it. Finally we got it stable in Android 14. That's a good news. However, when I turn it on you can see the UI gets a new look and it does not apply to the app drawer. You only get in the home screen, so I will keep it off for now. Now talking about the widgets panel, the widgets panel looks like this, typical Android 13 style widgets. In wallpaper style, I already talked about this. And in the home settings, we get the lineage launcher settings where we get the lock layout, notification dots, add app icon to home screen for new apps, etc. And from the home settings, we get a option called hidden and protected apps where you can add any apps that you want to hide in the app drawer. So that's a good feature, and this means you get app lock in this ROM. Now getting back to the settings, in the display we get the live display, smooth display, and the screensaver, lift to wake, tap to wake, which does not work. Let me show you. If I turn on the lift to wake, then keep it off like this, then if I lift the phone, you can see it does not get turned on. And if I turn on the tap to wake feature, the tap to wake feature works fine like Android 13. Then we get the wake on plug and tap to sleep. Now in the sound and vibration, we get the increasing ring volume, which is an essential option that should be in every ROM, and we get that in this ROM. So if you don't know what this is, so it actually works like Realme UI. The ringtone volume increases gradually when you get a call, and the phone ringtone UI is just like Android 13 or lower builds, and the phone ringtone and notification sound panel looks like older Android versions. There is no change. Now in charging sound, you can choose any sound that acts as a notification for charging, plug and unplug sound. Now in the battery, we get two options, the battery usage and battery saver, and you can turn on the battery saver, and here is an option to turn off the battery saver when the battery percentage is 90%, and you cannot change this. And you can set a schedule in the battery saver, but in the battery saver, in the schedules, you can set a schedule according to the battery percentage. So that's a good feature. And in battery usage, we get the pixel battery usage, and it looks quite different from the Android 13. And talking about the screen on time of this ROM, you get typical 8 to 9 hours of screen on time that we get in other lineage OS builds. So that's always impressive in lineage OS. And if I show you a screenshot of the battery backup, you can see the screen on time was of 4 hours 36 minutes when the battery percentage was 4%. So in pixel battery usage, the screen on time is always less. I don't know what happened with the battery usage statistics. From Android 13, I am noticing that there is a major change in the battery usage statistics. From Android 13 pixel battery usage, I'm noticing that we are getting very less screen on time. In Android 11, we used to get 6 hours, 7 hours of screen on time, but in pixel battery usage statistics, we can only see up to 3 hours of battery usage. But in lineage OS, however, we can see up to 5 hours of battery usage. So that's it. Now in notification, we don't get any additions according to Android 14. All are like Android 13. Now in network and internet, we get the private DNS, and in private DNS, we get only one option, which is Cloudflare DNS. And if you want to turn on the network traffic indicator, just go to system, status bar and network traffic indicator. So this settings is same in all the lineage OS builds. There is no change, and you can change the battery status style to circle or text. If you change it to circle, it will look like this. If I show you closely, you will notice it will look like this, and if I change it to text, it will look like this. So this is all about the settings. Now talking about the recent style, the recent style looks like this, and we get only screenshot option. And talking about the about of this ROM, you can see the about. It's the lineage OS 21 for Realme 675 devices, and it's the latest build. I did not try the previous build because I don't know about the bugs, although here is mentioned the changelog, fixed battery drain, fixed screenshot edit option. So we will just test the screenshot edit option, and yes, it's working fine, I guess. Yes, you can see it's working fine. If I choose the photos is not working, but if I directly choose the snapseed, it works fine. So it's actually fixed. Then here is another changelog that is fixed launching of widgets on launcher. So we will try launching an widget. So let's try adding this one. So it's working fine. I think in the previous build there was some bug, however. And if you want to know what is this big clock, it's the clock widget that you get in the widgets. Now talking about the performance, let me show you the screenshot that I took. So without using any performance script or any module or any custom kernel, we get this much performance. The CPU throttled 88% of its maximum performance, as you can see here, and the graph was pretty much stable, but there was some performance dips, as you can see here and here. So if you use a performance script or any custom kernel, you may get top-notch performance, basically no throttling in the test. So this is it about the overview. Talking about the stock applications of Lineage OS, we get the Lineage calendar, the Lineage calculator, browser, and of course the Lineage OS camera, where we get all the options and all are working fine. And in the video we don't get the 60 fps option just like other ROMs. The 60 fps option is missing just like other ROMs, and we get other applications of Lineage OS like Lineage Clock, Lineage Contacts, and you can see copies of applications because I use GF's build of every ROM, but the Lineage OS is basically AOSP, so from the backup it restored all the Google apps, that's why. So this is it. We don't get the Viper and we don't get the Google Photos unlimited storage, but however we get the call recording in this ROM. If I show you, you can see we get the typical AOSP dialer, and in AOSP dialer we can easily record calls by tapping into record calls. But one thing I found missing in this ROM is that you cannot turn on auto call recording. So the auto call recording is missing in the AOSP dialer, but the thing is you can record calls. I think that's enough for us. And as I said, we don't get the unlock higher FPS in games and the unlimited Google Photo storage. So these two options are missing in this ROM because this does not come with Google skin. It's all stock AOSP, that's why. So this is it for the review. So to install this ROM, all you need to do is at first install the Lineage OS recovery, because that's the only way you can install this ROM. First of all, I will go to install and select the storage to SD card because I have the recovery in SD card, and this is the ROM zip. And if I click on install image, it will show the Lineage OS recovery image. So I will click on it, click the recovery and flash, and make sure that you have the ROM zip in the SD card, because in Lineage OS recovery you cannot flash the ROM from internal storage. So after flashing the recovery, all you need to do is to reboot into recovery. Now after rebooting to recovery, you will see a UI like this. Now in this Lineage OS recovery, the touch control works fine, so you can touch to advanced. So you can click on apply update, then click on choose from disk, and then you have to go to the directory where you saved the ROM zip. So I have that in the movies folder. Now if I click on Lineage 21, it will be directly flashed. So after flashing, you have to go to back, then go to back again, then you have to click on factory reset and then click format data or factory reset. Now after formatting, go back and click on reboot system now. Now in this case, if you face any boot loop, all you need to do is to reboot into bootloader and enter command fastboot devices. Then if it detects, you have to enter fastboot -w or fastboot erase user data. So these two commands can format data. So after using these commands, you can successfully boot into Lineage OS. Now without further ado, let's get to the gaming review. So guys, currently I am not using any script and I am on stock kernel, and I am using the GFX tool, and I am using these settings in the GFX tool app. I just changed the graphics and FPS. So let's launch the BGMI. So guys, you can see the FPS that we are getting is around 60 to 65, but the FPS is set to 90. Let me just check the frame rate in the display settings. So in display settings, it is set to smooth display, and I think there was some glitch, that's why it was on 60. So let's see the FPS now. So you can see the FPS switched to 70 FPS. It's not actually close to 90, it's always at 60 FPS, but I have set it to 9. However, let's start a match.
Team match, let's go.
So guys, without any script or custom kernel, you get the FPS around 30 to 60. I mean, it fluctuates too much.
Watch out!
So this is the performance with the stock kernel. So for gaming you have to use the performance script, or you can also use any custom kernel.